Thanks a bunch, fool. You saved my life. I'll go and meet up with Fat Tony. We got a plan that'll mess up Lazarus' evil scheme, like real good. First up, I got a weapons drop lined up for you in the park. Get the weapons, then come and meet us in the south of the city. Here's the deal. We'll take out Lazarus's platoon of tanks. After all, we got the artillery. In the meantime, little Johnny here's gonna put the word out and track down any areas where Lazarus might be stashing weapons and troops. Let's go! Hey, Boo! Little Johnny's on the case. I managed to locate some of King Psycho's ammo stashes. Go get 'em. Fat Tony and I'll meet you back at my garage. My fuel tank's been damaged beyond repair. Pick me up and I'll ride shotgun with you. We're gonna kick their asses good. Okay, the situation is this. Thanks to little Johnny here, we know of 3 places that Lazarus has been stockpiling men and equipment. Looks like he's preparing for war, and that's exactly what he's gonna get. The plan is simple, but effective. To blow each stockpile and every last disciple to hell. Let's do it. One down, 2 to go. Two dealt with. The last one is northwest of here. That's sweet, sweet shooting, Booth. Take me back to little Johnny's garage and we'll call it a day. Hey, you ain't such a bad guy for a Fed. Now about my daughter.
taught Lazarus a lesson. Time to take Lazarus out of the picture once and for all. Intelligence is thin on the ground at the moment, and an opportunity has presented itself for us to discover his plans. Notorious New York hot rodder Marcus DuPont has challenged you to a race across the city. And should you win, he's got a stolen briefcase picked up from a disciple auto wreck that he's willing to trade. Go for it.
Hey, Booth! The word on the street is that there's a guy who's challenged you to a race across the city. His name's Marcus DuPont, and he's waiting for you nearby. You can't miss it. Just pull up alongside.
Okay, Booth. If you win your race with Marcus DuPont across the city, he'll give us a stolen briefcase detailing Lazarus' plans for New York. That's quite a prize. Take the shortcut through the park. Watch out for water. We don't have much time. Lazarus is preparing to lay waste to New York. If he can't control it, then no one can. First, you must go to the overpass to the east of here. Lazarus has planted a time bomb there. I'll give you further instructions as we unscramble the message. There's another time bomb further on. Booth, I'm organizing a weapons drop at your next waypoint. I'm afraid that this is going to get very messy. Lazarus has so many disciples here, it's frightening. Pick up the weapons and I'll tell you more. Right, Booth. Go west to Lazarus headquarters and prepare for the battle of your life.
Hey, Booth. How's about me and some of the boys in blue lending you a helping hand?
There's another wave of disciples coming in from the west. Soldiers coming in from the northeast. Okay, that's the upper level taken care of. Now go underground and deal with what's left of his minions. the old entrance to the subway in the east side of the city. Lazarus is trying to infiltrate the old subway network. Move it. Lazarus has made his escape underground into the old disused subway system. You'd better get down there after him. Lazarus and a few of the most fanatical disciples who form his bodyguard have made it underground in a bid to escape. Follow them into the labyrinth of tunnels that form the subway system and eliminate them all before they can make it above ground again. Lazarus is down here somewhere, but with some of his remaining bodyguards still alive, he's far from trapped. Keep your eyes open and hunt Lazarus down. One of Lazarus' disciples is making a run for it. Get after him and blow him away. There are more cultists on your tail. Watch your back. Disciple target detected. Disciple target detected. was on the move. Keep an eye on your scanner. He can't be too far away.
You'll never catch me, Boo. How can you?
I am no mere mortal like you.
I am the right arm of God, sent to smite the unworthy from the feet of his clean hand.
You may not have killed him this time, Booth, but at least you've driven Lazarus above ground where we can keep an eye on him. Temple Intelligence has tracked Lazarus to Tokyo, a city that is no stranger to the terror that fanatical cultists can create. Be on your guard as you patrol the city. His previous failures are likely to make Lazarus even more desperate to carry out his threat to the lives of innocent civilians this time. We've developed a new turbocharged engine and super tires for the car. Come on in and get them, but be careful. We've intercepted a message from the oil refinery. It's under attack from Lazarus minions. Get over there. Enemy targets detected. Destroy those cars. They're heading to the oil refinery in the north. on, Booth. This looks way too hot for you to handle without more firepower. Get to your next waypoint. There's a chopper waiting to escort you to the weapons drop. Follow the chopper. You should have enough firepower now. Get back to those tanks and blow them away. There's an ambulance loaded with explosives headed for another refinery on the east side. Bring it to a halt before it gets there.
ambulance is on the move. Well done, Booth. God knows how many hundreds of lives you've saved. Mopping up time, make your way over to the oil refinery and take out any cultists that might be hanging around. That's Lazarus stopped for now, but we must try to find out why he wanted to take over the refineries.
There's only one oil refinery that Lazarus hasn't attempted to destroy. It's owned by a shady businessman known only as the Coot. Go and have a look around. Lazarus might be planning another unholy alliance.
Hey, Boo, remember me? Yeah, little Johnny to the rescue. I couldn't leave you to take all the glory. And you know, I kind of figured that I owe you one. I've been snooping around the Coot's refinery. Come down here, and I'll tell you what I found out.
Little Johnny's been kidnapped. He's being taken by Chopper to Lazarus HQ. Get after him and we'll try to jam the Chopper's electronics. That should give this streetwise little weasel a chance to escape.
Hey, Boo, get over here. Pick me up, and I'll tell you what I know. Boy, am I glad to see you. Lazarus isn't happy about the way you keep messing up his action. But we can't talk here. His men are everywhere. Head across the bridge to that unused warehouse.
Out here.
Lazarus is in cahoots with this dude called the Coot. They cut a deal that lets Lazarus use the Coot's building in the city to store chemicals. They're having a meet any time now to the north of here. If you haul ass, I think you could stop them. Good luck, my man.
Looks like they've made the switch. Mop up any remaining disciples around here and get after the chopper. It must reach Lazarus base in the park. Headed to your next waypoint. Bring them to headquarters for inspection. We've got some special weapons here for you. They should help you take out the Coot. Pick up these weapons. We'll analyze the crates, which should give us a clue to the whereabouts of the elusive Coot. We've located the Coot in the northeast of the city. I'm sure you'll be eager to demonstrate what happens to anyone who collaborates with Lazarus. Stop the coot at all costs before he makes it to his getaway chopper to the south of here. Well done, Booth. The coot got what he deserved.
Another old friend from your New York days flies in to offer her support. Maria has come over, having been so impressed by your heroics in her hometown. Go and collect her from the docks where her seaplane has just landed.
Maria has just arrived from New York by seaplane and is waiting on the dock for you to pick her up. Don't keep the lady waiting. Hello, Booth. Nice to see you again. That Tony sent me over to give you a hand with the disciples, and I'm sure you've been missing me. Anyway, down to business. Lazarus has been up to his old tricks, bribing the Tokyo police and putting moles into their department. The authorities have brought someone in from the outside to help. I've arranged for you to meet him at St. Moody's Church. I think you'll be pleased. Pull up on the south side of the church. There's a chopper arriving any minute.
Hello, Booth, you heathen. Guess who got transferred to Tokyo? It's me, your old pal McNally. After I cleaned up the NYPD single-handed. Only joking, I couldn't have done it without you. I've been drafted in to help get rid of the corruption in the Tokyo police force. Tool up and follow me.
A gang of corrupt cops have been helping the disciples smuggle diamonds into the docks, and we're going to bust them.
Destroy this truck, and the guards should come and check out the trouble. As they come over one bridge, you take the other and snatch the crates. Okay, here's the plan. The diamonds are being guarded by heavily armed vehicles, so we need a diversion. Booth, that's where you come in.
Now go get the boxes. Take out the cops and disciples. The explosion has caused them to lose their formation, so they should be easier to deal with. Go to your next waypoint and pick up some ammo. the city. There are 5 corrupt police officers coming your way, all heavily armed. Your best strategy is to stay in the open in the park. Something is affecting the scanner. There are still disciples in the area, but it can't pick them up. I'm afraid you're driving blind for a while. We've managed to get the scanner operational, but it's only working intermittently, so don't rely on it.
A lone fanatic is on a suicide mission to kill as many innocent civilians in the shortest time possible, solely to please his beloved leader. You must stop him.
It's official. It's a red car. I repeat, red car. We're locking onto it now. Get after it.
It will cost you your life. It's about time I dealt with you once and for all. If you're man enough to face a final confrontation with your destiny, I've left a little something for you down by the quay in the southeast. Go there and await my instructions. instructions just like my disciples. In order to meet me, you must go to every location indicated on your scanner and pick up the suitcase left at each one.
Disciple targets detected. Suitcase located. 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 All right, there are no more cases on our nav pad. Wait, we have an incoming message.
I've finished toying with you, Booth. Come and face me, and we'll finish this once and for all.
is going to taste so sweet as the death of every sinner has tasted sweet to me. None more so than your wife and that fright of yours. But first, I fancy a good cast of the mouth.
Little Johnny has been caught and forced to join the disciples since they're short of skilled mechanics to put their battered cars back together. Typically, he went along with it, but has been working on the inside, weaseling out information from any slack-tongued disciple who's willing to talk. He's about to prove himself more useful than ever.
Maria's called in. She wants you to pick her up from outside a payphone just to the east of here. I've logged it on your nav pad. Hi there, Booth. You drive me crazy. I've located little Johnny, but I'm going to need to get help into the compound where he's holed up. Head for the east side of the park. Okay. I'm going to sneak into the compound in the back of this truck. I'll need a couple of minutes, so I'll have to ask you to create a diversion for me. Take out the tanks guarding the gate so they don't search the truck. Hopefully some of Lazarus's goons will come out for you to play with. I'll give you a call when I need picking up. The way's clear, Booth. Keep some of the disciples occupied to give Maria time to nose around. You there? I'm waiting in the trees outside the compound. Come and get me, my hero. Thanks. I saw little Johnny. He couldn't talk. We're to meet him in Little Tokyo by Tokyo Tower. You better take out these guys first so they don't follow us.
Follow me. We can't talk here. If we're seen together, my cover's blown wide open. Hey, dude. Good to see you. I've been nosing around, and I think I got something you can use. I heard the disciples discussing a satellite that they were worried might make them vulnerable in some way. They spotted me and clammed up. The word is there's an illegal road race tomorrow. $10,000 to challenge Lazarus's top driver. Winner takes it all. I know that guy, and I'm sure he'd rather part with information than part with the cash. Anyway, I gotta get back before I miss. There's a large crowd of cult members just around the corner. It could be some kind of public demonstration. I think you should check it out.
I think this is close enough.
Here's an excerpt from the disciples' speech booth. And lo, it will come to pass that Lazarus shall smite the city of Tokyo. His dread hand shall pass, and all will fall before him. 12 hours hence, at the stroke of midnight, the sinners of this city will be destroyed, while Lazarus' righteous disciples shall ascend unto the hereafter and sit at the right hand of the Almighty. Heavy stuff, Booth. I hope we can stop him in time.
It looks like Lazarus has something big planned, and these suckers are buying every word of it. Let's get back to Temple HQ before we're spotted.
Little Johnny just called in. A bus full of cult members has left the meeting and are heading for Temple HQ. They're armed to the teeth and have instructions to kill as many Temple agents as they can. They're taking a long route around the outside of the park, as there are a lot of police between the Temple HQ and the meeting. Take them out before they reach us. Attacker has been eliminated. Temple HQ is safe. Well done, Booth. Come on home. Mission completed. Little Johnny has done the business again. He calls into the location of the road race, allowing you to go and meet the disciple driver. Go to the race start. The route is once around the park and south through the city. I'll give you directions as you go. Don't cut any corners or you'll be disqualified. Go! Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Turn left. Turn left. Turn right. Turn right. Turn left. Turn right. Take the next right and then follow the road north to the top of the city.
You won, and as little Johnny predicted, the other driver is willing to part with information rather than the cash.
Little Johnny has had a secret meeting with the Disciple driver and is now in possession of all the information you'll need. Get to the dock where he's waiting for you before Lazarus gets wise to the whole scam.
Little Johnny's just called in and said to meet him down by the dock. I don't have a clue what the weasel wants.
3 trucks containing the main components for Lazarus's new ComStat system are on the move. If you can waste them, none of the Disciples will be able to contact Big Laz. The last truck is being loaded now at the south end of this dock. Anyway, nice knowing ya. I'm out of here before Lazarus finds out I'm not really a Disciple. See you when all this is over.
You only have 5 minutes to complete the mission. Lazarus communications unit are located in the park. They must be destroyed if we're to cut all the Disciples' communication links. The trucks are heavily defended. Even so, you've got to destroy all of them. Sorry. Okay, let's do some damage. All objectives met.
In the absence of ComSat, communication between the Disciples' command hierarchy and their foot soldiers has broken down completely. Take out as many of the Disciples as you can before you have the opportunity to regroup.
Lazarus men are in disarray without their communication links. This is your chance to clear the Disciples out of Tokyo once and for all. I've located a cluster of them to the southeast. If you need more weapons, come back here. Enemy targets detected. There's a gas station close by, so use this break to fill her up and make any repairs. There's still a lot of work to do. There are more disciples in the park, along with some of Lazarus' tanks. When you're ready, head up there and terminate them.
discovered that Lazarus has some choppers hidden around the city. You'll need to get hold of homing missiles to deal with them, but they're being guarded by laser towers. Approach with caution. Now get out of here. Those towers are lethal. I've downloaded the first chopper location to your nav pad. Choppers to the northeast, so head up there. Chopper's just ahead, but we've also detected a van. Be on your guard. Located more choppers to the northeast. Get over there. Can't detect any more disciples, but there are still a number unaccounted for. Worse, we can't find Lazarus either, but he'll have to turn up sooner or later. In the meantime, get your vehicle repaired and rearmed.
The cult of Lazarus is in disarray. The disciples who you haven't killed have fled the city or disappeared. However, you've still had no sign of Lazarus. There's only one thing for it. Head to his HQ and confront the sick son of a bitch on his own turn.
I can't pick up Lazarus on the radar, but we can't afford to wait any longer. I think he'll be holed up in the Disciples HQ in the park. It's worth a try. Check it out. There he goes. There are no disciples around to protect him. This is it, Booth. Showtime.
Well, Booth, you may have been able to deal with my brainwashed, brain-dead disciples, but you haven't a prayer against me. I'm leaving this rhino and you with it, Booth.
His armor is back to full strength. I don't understand it.
Why don't you just give up, you annoying little insect? You know you can't win.
Weird, Booth. I know you've done some damage, but his vehicle's back to full strength.
You're a persistent little fellow, aren't you, Booth? Shame it won't do you any good.
He must have some kind of onboard repair system, because he's reading 0 damage, and I know you've been finding the target. neat trick? Similar to switching cars en route, hence the renewing armor. Well, now at least it's an open fight, albeit a bit one-sided.
What's wrong, Booth? You look like you've seen a ghost. Well, you have.
targets at your next waypoint.
So much for my clones. They were highly inferior copies of the original. However, you've become incredibly tiresome, Booth, so I'll see you later.
another chopper on the scanner.
Oh dear, Booth. Don't you have any homing missiles? Well, that's a pity, isn't it? Because I have, and you were doing so well. Looks like I get to kill the sole surviving member of the Booth family. Get ready to meet your maker. You should be pleased.
You're about to meet up with your miserable wife and whiny kid again.
Booth, take these rockets and blow that piece of human slime off the face of the planet.
Well done, Booth. Well done.